Hey, what's shaking, everybody? Welcome back to another installment of, you guessed it, Jay Straight Up Reviews and More. Okay, so this new Sony speaker, the ULT Field 7, we've done a couple videos on it. We put it up against the Boombox 3, both big name companies, JBL, Sony, big price tags. Now we got it up against the little guy, if you will, but not a little speaker, the W King X20, which has been pretty consistent since it's come out, priced at about $225. So whereas the Field 7 is $500, so more than double the price. So based on that, the Sony should walk all over the W King. We're going to start out in custom EQs. Now the Sony, the ULT modes, you can't use those in conjunction with a custom EQ. The W King has a bass piece. You can use that in conjunction with the custom EQ, but we're not going to, at least on this first run here. Now the Sony, that's the custom EQ I'm using within their app. I've got their bottom end bass, which is 63 hertz maxed out. And as far as the W King goes, we're running with no bass boost to start with. There you can see we've got the bass on theirs, bottoms at 30 and 60. I got both of those maxed out on their EQ. So that's what we're going to start with. So get your headphones on. Definitely want a decent pair of headphones. We're going to start at 40%, and Mr. Hand has made his return. Mrs. Hand has been holding it down. He's very inconsistent, but we'll talk about that later. So anyway, like I said, get your headphones on. Here we go, 40% volume. He will point to the speaker. This is the W King. Change track, still at 40%.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always make give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted. Stay humble. Now wake up. It's time. Look in the mirror. It gives no friend to me. It's not working.
Go up to 60%.
It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. Takes you some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. Like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal.
Change track. Let's run it. Go up to 73%. Change track. Change tracks, go to max volume, 100%.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
All right, so with that, the W King sounded, it was just a little bit louder. It started breaking up a little bit there when I had the bass maxed out like that. You started to hear some distortion and a little bit of, started getting a little sketchy sounding. Now, lower in the volume, the W King is not quite as full sounding. The Sony has a more full sound, kind of a more open sound too, a little more detail, a little more layers to it, if you will, than the W King. W King sounded a little flatter in comparison. Now the Sony does, when you get up to max upper volume and max volume, loses a substantial amount of the bass. So we're going to try the ULT mode 1 next, which is the low bass, and we'll put bass boost enabled and adjust the EQ on the W King. So we'll do that next. Okay, so now the W King, you can kind of see the lights on there, the bass boost. Bass boost is enabled, and I've lowered the bass on the EQ down some. Because like I said, if you push this thing too much, like you could hear without bass boost, with it max, it was getting a little sketchy sounding at high volume. And I've increased the treble a little bit more than the other EQ we were using, because when you enable bass boost, even though this thing has been updated, I just updated it, the new update from W King, it did help it, which I didn't like the bass boost at all because it made it really dark. It still gets darker when you use the bass boost. So I've increased the treble a little bit on the EQ to compensate. And the Sony is in its ULT 1, which is basically bass boost, low bass boost. So we'll go back to that same track and go down to 40% to start. Here we go.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
It's an ULT 1. Go up to 60%.
It sound right, boys.
Change tracks, go to 80%. That weird sound is the track. Track. Still on the Sony, let's go to max volume. Okay, that is it. So what do you guys think on this one? I think the overall sound quality on the Sony, it has, like I said, it sounds like it has a little more layer to the sound, a little more detail, a little clearer. So I give that advantage to it. But the bass, it really does lose a substantial amount of bass at max volume where the W King really doesn't. So lower in volume, the Sony might sound a little fuller, but as you get higher in volume, it kind of loses that advantage. And as far as max output goes, the W King is probably just a little bit louder. Now, the second alt mode is more for an outdoor. It's to make it sound like it has more power. So you do pick up a little bit of sound when you use that one. So it's basically like the alt 1 is for indoor and the alt 2 is for outdoor, to give you a little more output. So as far as I'm concerned, I probably, man, these are really close, because like I said, the Sony just really has an issue, in my opinion, when it gets to max volume, that it loses so much bass, whereas the W King doesn't really. But like I said, W King, if you try to push too much bass through that, it does start sounding a little sketchy, a little bit of distortion. So I can't say that the Sony is a clear winner. I think, like I said, the overall sound is probably better, but at max volume, if you like bass, the Sony just kind of withers, if you will. So is the Sony worth more than double the price of the W King? I think that answer is a little more easy to come to a conclusion. No, I don't think it's worth more than 2 times the price, when you can get 2 of the W Kings, run them TWS for less than the price of the Sony. So take that for what it is. That's just my opinion, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. These are always interesting. This one was a pretty interesting competition here. Like I said, it's not, I don't think either one of these is a clear-cut winner, at least in my opinion, but when you factor in the price, that does kind of tip the scales substantially. So if you haven't subscribed yet, do it today. It's free. We're running a special. Doesn't cost anything today. Free costs you nothing, as everybody will tell you, this channel is always worth every bit of nothing. We want to thank Mr. Hand for sitting in today. We don't see him that often anymore. His wife's been having to do his job. That's pretty bad. Mrs. Hand's more reliable. She doesn't drink. Well, we'll catch you guys in the next one. That's a wrap.